Welcome back to Project 94 for another diecast review here on the channel, and it's going to be a pretty special one today, guys. This right here is the first Jimmie Johnson diecast we have gotten since 2020, I'd like to say. This Jimmie Johnson car is going to be his 2023 Carvana Chevrolet for Legacy Motor Club, which he is now a part of. Really cool to see this car get made. A Jimmie Johnson diecast, anything with his name on it is probably going to get produced. So, really cool to have this car. And of course, for you diecast collectors out there, you have a diecast series, number 84, a brand new number for your diecast series. And for me, it's another Legacy Motors Club. I almost said Legacy Motorsports, which I always end up doing. But yeah, this car right here is really cool to see it. Let's get a close look at the box and the car and all that. So here it is. It's official, not a custom. This is actually from Lionel Racing, and I'm showing you guys proof of that. It's in my hands right now. The Carvana Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 for Legacy Motor Club. It's a pretty cool paint scheme as well, so that's another bonus. So not only is it another Jimmie Johnson, a new Jimmie Johnson diecast, but the paint scheme is actually pretty cool. And of course, this year is going to be the final year we get Jimmie Johnson cars on the Chevrolet Camaro. Because next season, Legacy Motor Club is going to be switching to the Toyotas. So, yeah, we're going to pretty soon be talking about Toyota's Jimmie Johnson cars. Which, hey, man, I'm all for it. You know, Jimmie Johnson can do whatever he wants with his career and drive for whoever he wants. Because guess what? He's the GOAT. He's 7-time champion. And, yeah, why wouldn't you want to see Jimmie Johnson try something different? Of course, it is kind of funky to think about it. Because considering most of his career is with Chevy, or his entire career almost is with Chevrolet, so to see him move away from that is, I could see where people would not be too happy about that, but for me, Jimmie Johnson is a race car driver. He can drive anything he gets behind the wheel of, no matter who makes it, and that has been pretty much the idea of Richard Petty Motorsports over the years, is that they don't care what manufacturer they're running, as long as they're finding ways to be competitive and stay alive in the sport. So yeah, guys, if Toyota is giving him an offer he can't pass up and paying him the money he needs, go for it. But back to the diecast itself, this Carvana Chevrolet is very cool. I gotta fix my seat a little bit here. There we go. So yeah, really cool one here to get this. I'm really happy to have it because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be worth a lot later, and I'm literally saying that as I'm taking it out of the box, so rip. Here it is, the diecast out of the box. That was almost a big mess. There was a lot going on there with the box just literally flying towards the screen. Here is the car out of the box, and right off the bat, I really like the blue on this. It's like a dark blue, almost like the Chase Elliott blue, but not the Chase Elliott blue. This is really nice. I'm really happy to have this because, like I said, this is a new Jimmie Johnson diecast. Who wouldn't want that? I mean, after 2020, I was like, oh, that's it. There's going to be no more Jimmie Johnson anything anymore to collect because he's not driving. And then, of course, he decides to come back on the number 84. So, yeah, guys, it's kind of funny, man. Jimmie Johnson, 84 instead of 48. But, of course, I really got used to it quite quickly. You know why? Because Alex Bowman is the number 48, and we've gotten used to that over the years as well. But yeah, another beautiful Legacy Motorsports Club. I know Jimmie Johnson's probably going to watch the video and complain about me. So, Legacy Motor Club diecast right here. Really cool to have it with the gold outline to it of the numbers and the stripes. Because all the Legacy Motorsports, oh my god, I did it again. Legacy Motor Club diecasts are going to have that gold on there, which we will talk about in the paint scheme review as I'm just going on and on. You got number 84 right there. You got Legacy Motor Club with the Chevrolet Camaro front end right there. You got the two ZL1s. You got the Carvana logo with the little Impala right there with the little halo on the top. Then, of course, you have the hood vents, which honestly look good on this diecast because they're not intrusive. Because the way the sponsor logo is, it left space for them. So that's nice to see that. Of course, you got Jimmie Johnson Chevrolet. Or just Johnson and Chevrolet. Sunoco, Goodyear in yellow, NASCAR Cup Series, the 75th anniversary logo for NASCAR, and of course dark gray rims with the yellow Goodyears. Number 84, got a nice little chip right there. You got another chip on that stripe right there, and I swore I saw a paint chip somewhere else. Of course, number 84, Jimmie, or JJ up there. You have, let's see, Legacy Motor Club, the tiny little decal that they try to just stuff in there, and it kind of looks, sometimes when they try to put the tiny logos, they don't look as good. This one's not too bad, but you can definitely tell how small that decal is and how difficult it is to attach to the car. You have, is that a black and white Carvana logo? That's another Carvana logo, it looks like. You have Carvana slanted. The font looks pretty cool, and it's slanted and big enough to fit the side door. Of course, you have Allegiant, you got the Safety Clean Mac Tools and SEM. You have Sunseeker, which was on the number 42 car. On the back, you have Chevrolet, Carvana, Legacy Motor Club, number 84, ZL1, Camaro, Chevrolet. Is there there's no rear view camera on this car. Okay. Usually the rear view camera would be like right there. Here's the spoiler with the pop riveting. Of course, you have the Carvana logo on the deck lid. You got Johnson and then Carvana on the roof of this car. And now for the paint scheme. So the top of this thing does not look like the number has an outline. It may have a dark blue outline to it, but I really can't see it. But you do have a yellow number filling. It's like a yellow gold. It's like a mustard, not really a mustard yellow. It's almost like cheap cheese. I really don't have another way to describe it. It's like, it's not like fresh yellow cheese. Almost like it's like faded. It's like a faded yellow color to this thing. It's really weird. But you got that color for the number 84 on the roof. And on the sides, you have the metallic gold outline with the white number fill-in with the iconic Richard Petty Motorsports font. But of course, they're keeping it for Legacy Motor Club. So yeah, really cool fool's gold outline. It's almost like the Kevin Harvick, what was it, his Coda car from 2021. That type of fool's gold is on this, which is nice. And we're going to talk about those Legacy Motor Club details again. Happens when you try to talk fast reviewing these cars. So let's start out with the front here. We're just going to start out with the main team identifier stuff before we really get to the paint scheme. Black splitter, black spoiler, and of course you have the gold stripe, pretty thin, of course, going through the lower portion of the car, which is really underneath the OEM details. That gold stripe is going to wrap all the way around the car, as well as the black of the underbody right there. But that gold stripe is consistent. It's going to continue all the way around the car. No deviation whatsoever. Even onto the quarter panels of the car and onto the bumper. The gold stripe pretty much wraps all the way around on these Legacy Motor Club cars. As I almost said Legacy Motor Sports again, and it's not. You have the side window pillars being black. Of course, with the gold names and such. And the gold logo right there. That's pretty much how you identify a Legacy Motorsport Club car. And of course, you have the outline of the gold, which is going to be the same type of fool's gold. Now for the main paint scheme, it's spray painted that almost navy blue color, but it's still got, it's brighter than your typical dark navy blue, but it's definitely a dark blue color, definitely in the navy category. And now looking at the main paint scheme. So on the front, you have decals that wrap very nicely around the OEM details. Of course, behind those fake air vents, you have that weird yellow color. But you got the yellow behind those fake vents. You got the whiskers on the front corners of the car. The left front and the right front have two whiskers. And of course, those whiskers are going to be the light blue, which the light blue could be the same color as Petty Blue, but the decal package of the real car and the diecast make it look like it's probably not Petty Blue, but it's close enough to that color. And of course, got a dark blue as well, a shorter whisker right there. And of course, on the front, you have the, right under the nose, right under the Chevy bow tie, you have the blue stripe, the light blue, with the dark blue little stripe right there. It's almost like a smiley face shape. It's very curved, but it really wraps around the front pretty nicely. And on the hood right here, yes, there's details on the hood as well. You have that same, like, decal almost, that long smiley face shaped stripe with that dark blue, or the light blue with the dark blue underneath it. And then on the hood, you have that almost the same detail again. Because it has that slanted light blue stripe, which wraps almost the shape of the hood pretty nicely. It's not the exact shape of the outline of the hood, but it's definitely curved, which is nice. And of course, the dark blue is going to be a little bit under, so that's actually going to be on the fender of the car, while the blue stripes are straight up on the hood of the car. And on the sides of the car, you have those same, like, stripes. So that's kind of the theme of this, like, template. They're using that same decal a lot. So that same decal that was used here, and of course on the top, which we will get to. So that same stripe detail is going to be used right by the wheel well. It's slanted to kind of take the shape of the wheel well right there, which is nice. Then of course you got the light blue with the dark blue again, just a straight stripe. It's still got a bit of a curve underneath the 84. Then of course you got a huge swoop on the side right here, which pretty much framed the contingencies pretty nicely. It frames that Allegiant logo really cool. Yeah, that light blue stripe swoops underneath the Carvana logo. And because the Carvana logo, it's big, but it's not like big like other cars usually would be. But because of this paint scheme, they put stripes to kind of fill in what would have been a gap right here. Just imagine all that being blue. Wouldn't look as good, would it? So they decided to add that stripe detailing right there. And of course, you got the long light blue stripe with the kind of shorter dark blue stripe, which kind of are behind these contingency logos on the bottom. And then here's the coolest part of this paint scheme, in my opinion. Look at the rear quarter panel. Really sharp shapes, like a backwards 7, but it swoops really nicely. So you got that light blue swoop, that dark blue swoop. You got that light blue stripe with the dark blue on the bottom, and it frames the Sunseeker logo perfectly. That is awesome design right there. Of course, you got the biofuel little logo right there, a little fuel cell. Here's the back of it, and this also looks cool. You got a backwards L. You got the L on one side is backwards, and the other side is another L, which is the correct direction. Just flipped. They just flipped the decals to just kind of match both sides. The light blue stripe with the dark blue stripe, it's kind of like an L. It just wraps around the bumper, which just looks sweet. Sweet! This car looks. And of course, you have the pretty much the same decal again, but it's just flipped underneath, or it's just flipped upside down, so the light blue can be like the longer stripe towards the taillights, while the dark blue is just kind of up and towards the spoiler, right over the Chevrolet bow tie right there. Deck lid has that same smile-looking logo again, with that same light blue and dark blue. And on the top, they pretty much used all of those same shapes to frame the number 84, even though the 84 kind of touches the edges of those stripes. But it looks like it would frame something, like this little gap in the middle. But the 84 is big enough, either way. And that is pretty much the Carvana Jimmie Johnson diecast right here, the paint scheme of it. A lot of details going on with the stripes. They're like arranged in different ways. It kind of flows with the body lines of the next-gen diecast, or the next-gen cars. So it's really cool to see that. I'm going to give you guys some 360 views, and it looks like there's a decal fold making that R look weird in Carvana. Oh, well. Here we go, 360 view. We're going to give you guys some close-ups, because I know people are wanting to see this diecast right here, this Jimmie Johnson Carvana. Here it is. Is 100% real. And what's weird about this Goodyear logo, it actually looks like it has like a shadow to it. You see that? It's a little weird. But here is the car right here. Very, very nice car. I really like this Jimmie Johnson Carvana livery. It's a pretty nice car. Yeah, when this car first came out, I was kind of skeptical. Like, I was worried the paint scheme was going to look like crap, like some of the old Ally cars did. But no, they actually put some effort into this. And on the Daytona racetrack, the Daytona International Speedway, this thing looked awesome under the lights, because it really does look like a night paint scheme. It really does. This looks like a night, like something that would be running under the lights. And yes, I'm not kidding around. This is the real diecast, as I give you guys another close-up of it. This time I'm actually going to zoom in the camera, because I know people want to see this car in all its glory. Of course, the underbody was the 2023 Camaro. I think what does it for me on these cars is that fool's gold. That looks really cool. Can you imagine if they made the wheels gold as well? I mean, maybe that would have been too much gold, but yeah, it's a really nice diecast, guys. So what do you guys think of it? Would you guys get this diecast? If you're a Jimmie Johnson fan, I highly recommend you pick it up as soon as possible, because you're probably not going to see it again on the shelves at your diecast stores and whatnot. This thing's going to fly off the shelves really quickly, so definitely get it. If you're ordering these cars online, definitely get this as soon as they get here. I got mine as soon as the Lionel Racing retail store got them. And I'm glad I did, because if I waited, this thing would have disappeared or just ended up on the PTC mold. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for Jimmie Johnson's 2023 Carvana Chevrolet Camaro Z01 for Legacy Motor Club. Comment, like, and subscribe. And we will see you guys in the next diecast review. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.